you are, ghoulies, and here we are once again on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Lilith Lovecraft has joined us from the depths of the ocean one more time.
Got my new seaweed hair.
Do you have something that makes the tail go away when you come on land?
Well, it's just a Lovecraft trait. Don't worry about it.
It's a trick.
Yeah.
It's like magic. Very cool. We're going to get into the dark realms of the devil's work tonight. One of those occultist Satanist movies.
Those are always good. Some of my favorites.
Some of my favorites. They can be hair-raising.
Oh, definitely.
I wouldn't count on that too much in tonight's movie, but I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet. But with all this darkness and gloom, now who would have known David Bowie was into all this occult stuff?
I think it's really interesting, actually, but not surprising.
I remember being told that he was told he didn't want anything to do with anything like that, and now, from a recent report, after his death, of course, either that or he's playing around with the ideas. Maybe. Of course, we're talking about David Bowie passed away.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Bowie was always interesting. I feel like he was experimenting with a little bit of everything.
It's hard to see. It's hard for me to get that vibe. I suppose he's put that out there, but I was looking over a lot of pictures when he was in New York sponging, as they called him the Sponge. Have you heard that before? That he would come and try to steal. Suffragette City, they said, was Wayne Jane County's song, but we're talking about a lot of basic rock, bluesy rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's like, can anybody really honestly say they own a blues song? Because it's all the same song.
Yeah.
But very interesting performer, definitely, and
very influential.
It was odd to me with all this talk of magic that I had kind of been watching The Prestige quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so Bowie was on my mind when he wouldn't be normally, because I hadn't seen a lot about him, and I thought he was great as Tesla.
Oh, he does a wonderful job as Tesla.
They just didn't have enough of him in the movie.
Yes, I would.
They could have just made a movie about Tesla.
Yes, that would have been awesome.
Maybe that was a thought, but it's not going to happen now.
Well, not with Bowie, at least.
But now we move on to Black Star, his two videos, one from a hospital bed, and then the thing with the buttons over the eyes. I was like,
actually, I like that video a lot.
Yeah. I like that look. That's a cool idea,
Oh, it looked amazing.
But I mean,
the imagery was.
The buttons on the eyes, of course. Sam from Trick or Treat has them.
Yes.
And Coraline, they had that stuff going on.
Yeah.
That was kind of I never really made it through Coraline. That's kind of weird.
Honestly, I haven't actually made it through Coraline either. I got about 45 minutes in and stopped watching.
I wonder why that is. Now, that's a pattern.
And it's not a bad movie.
Okay, yeah, it's weird that you had the same experience as I did.
I didn't get into it. I know the story and everything, but I just couldn't get into it, really.
Interesting. Oh, another big, there was a big announcement, a positive surprise came out this week, at least for this ghoulie.
Oh?
And that is 10 Cloverfield Lane. Is that what they're calling that? There's a sequel to Cloverfield that no one was even aware was being made.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This one doesn't seem like it's filmed from a handy cam, though.
Yes, it's not the first-person shake cam.
But
when is that coming out?
March.
Really?
That's March is going to be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I liked the original Cloverfield. It was great stuff.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
Oh, it was the explained to me because before I saw it. I said, well, what is that all really about? And they said, well, it's the Godzilla for 9/11 victims. It's kind of like for New York.
That's a great description.
And that's pretty crazy. And of course, a lot of controversy on the Shin Godzilla look.
Oh.
I have removed myself from all Godzilla Facebook groups.
I can't blame you. They've gotten a little crazy recently.
Yeah, that's the cleanup is starting to actually happen on my Facebook, so look out there.
Ooh.
How about the other? Did you see the other? Well, this won't even be timely by the time it goes on, but there was a post that something very disturbing just turned out to be a guy kissing his baby. And you didn't see that?
No.
I don't know.
Apparently, I use the internet.
It's Satan's tool. I don't know. It's all gonna have to go.
Oh yeah. No.
Facebook. I mean, you just never know when you're gonna have something in your face.
That's true.
I'm like, how did that get through there? Oh. Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay.
Something to see. I'll tell you what. Anyway, tonight's movie is very strange. It's called The Devil's Rain. And it's already weird from the cast.
Yeah, the casting.
Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah.
Eddie Albert. Green Acres, here we go. And then you've got William Shatner. Lost William Shatner. This is in between the original Star Trek ending and before the motion picture series started. Yeah. I don't think he was doing T.J. Hooker just yet. Not in this one, because this is 1975, The Devil's Reign. Haunting images in the beginning of the Hieronymus Bosch painting. Leads you to believe that you're really going to be drawn into something dark and horrifying. It misleads, I should say. Oh. Nevertheless, this is a classic worth watching, and you should be quite surprised by a lot of things in this movie. So, John Travolta, he's not even speaking, is in this film. I was going to say,
you forgot one really weird cast member. And that's
the whole cast is like leftovers
strange,
from...
that John Travolta, for some reason, just strikes me as, really?
Well, you got like your handful of television actors around the time.
Yeah.
Eddie Albert, he hadn't really done anything since Green Acres. Shatner wasn't doing anything since Star Trek.
Yeah.
He almost got typecast, but he managed to do some stuff. So they were kind of in the limbo, and how the heck they got Ernest Borgnine in this one, I'll never know. I guess they needed a good villain. He probably made the most money.
I'm sure.
So without further ado, let's get right into it now. That's right, The Devil's Reign on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Ghoulies, and we're right in the middle of it here. That's right, The Devil's Reign. Starting off the new year, it couldn't get any worse, can it?
I'm really worried.
You got to look reality in the face, and that's the fact that many of our cultural pop icons are all hitting their 70s or 80s, and that's what happens, and that's sad, very sad, but...
what will the world be left with?
Well, Keith Richards.
Of course.
He'll still be around.
He'll survive anything. But...
he could nuke Keith Richards and he'd walk right out of there. Yep. Anyway, lots of crazy appearances coming up.
Yes.
Mighty Con in Milwaukee on the 21st of February. That's a Sunday at Serb Hall in Milwaukee. Costume contests, I hear.
Which should be very fun.
That should be a lot of fun. A lot of vendors, and we'll be there giving away special surprises for the people that need to be surprised of it. Mighty Con, laying our claim to Milwaukee, right?
Of course.
Of course. We had a lot of time in Milwaukee.
We have. And it's kind of nice. We're not adventuring some.
Yeah, there are a lot of adventures in Milwaukee. Yes. For many, many, many moons. Well, actually, there's going to be a big bash. There's a Crimson Theater anniversary party scheduled at the old club Anything. I think they're calling it something else. Well, more details.
They're calling two different things.
Well, they had Slash, they didn't want to drop one name completely.
Confusing people
yes,
too
right,
much.
that's confusing. And that's March 26th.
Yes.
March 26th is the date on that one. Then, of course, there is the Mosquito Gallery. What date is that? 16th or 17th? The Dorian Gray Art Show is coming up again. And I think we really need to have people focus on the movie itself, and the painting should be a self-portrait done for the show, as opposed to just whatever you had laying around that you thought you could want to bring. But last year's was you missed out on that one. It definitely, thanks to Randy at the Mosquito Gallery, raised the bar on the whole thing. So
I'm hopefully going to be entering a piece this year.
Okay, I'd
really
like to see that. I would want to see it. That's what I'd like to see. But that's coming up. That's always a very good time. And Mosquito Gallery, you gotta love the Mosquito Gallery.
Oh, you gotta love those guys.
This reminds me, I was supposed to bring the After 5 Jam, the latest one. I was supposed to bring to give Vampiro, the one and only Vampiro. That we'd be nothing without Vampiro.
Oh, nothing.
Nothing. I am working on getting you the extended version of High Roller. Just so you know, it's coming.
Just for me?
Just for you, a special edition.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
A present from Cookie Jarvis to you personally.
My favorite song in the entire world. I'm going to make it my ringtone. Every time someone sends me a text, I'll hear High Roller. I'm excited.
Exciting, isn't it? Just as exciting as getting back to tonight's horrifying melodrama. That's right, The Devil's Reign on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Back to the movie. They're starting to come into question here on Crimson Theater and tonight's movie. And my good friend David Lady, that's his real name, David Lady.
Wonderful name.
David Lady was actually the mayor of his city for a while.
Really?
For real. So they did have a horror host for a mayor. Kenosha only kind of did. Now, you can write me in,
Yeah.
And I might have to run on a write-in campaign.
I say go for it. Why not?
I don't know what the legitimacy of a write-in campaign is, because there's things that are set in play when you run for office. You have to have a bank account, and you have to keep records, and because you want to get money and do those sorts of things. So there is the election board. They have some rules out there. I suppose some of our viewers, let's just say other Kenoshans, they don't even probably know what an election board is, and they don't know. Sure don't vote. Because they're asking about if I'm still running for mayor, and it's been 12 years, and the election's over, or they did not read in the paper. The own Kenosha News did not even know that it's already stated who was running for mayor, and puts a cartoon in the paper this morning of me.
Really?
Yes, I've been in that cartoon before. It's been a long time. I felt a little left out, Dan Pavlovich. So they put the cartoon of just me. Like I'm running for mayor. So the confusion out there, it must be hard.
Yeah.
The smoke and mirrors are working here in Crimson Theater because people aren't getting it. But you do need to get out there and register to vote and pay attention.
Come on, people, get informed.
Well, pay attention. So, when nobody shows up for a council meeting, to be fair to the members, then nobody shows up until they've got an issue.
Yeah.
And this thing they got an issue with has already been approved.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's how it always works.
Technicalities, legalities, little rules. But I saw something in tonight's movie, and I think somebody else did too. Yeah. And then they got Shatner with them black eyes. That's Michael Myers. That is already predated. That's 1975. Halloween didn't come out for another 4 or 5 years. And I'm thinking they saw that in the movie. Beyond that, I still think Shatner had to get some kind of his royalties from the Mask Company, and did he get royalties from all the Halloween movies?
See, I want to say that he should have. He definitely should have gotten royalties, but I believe that in the Halloween movies they used a really generic mask name to get around having to pay him royalties.
That's a once in a lifetime situation there that nobody else really had that happen, but they could at least put him in one of the movies. That could have been interesting.
That would have been very interesting.
I mean, Rob Zombie was totally emulating that in House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yes.
With Daddy.
Yeah.
That was a good one, wasn't it?
Oh.
But yes, if you watch this, it all makes sense now how they figured out the Michael Myers mask. That's just too on the money to be.
It looks,
And the makeup is very weird in this, and the melting man in the beginning, and the dialogue itself didn't quite get there, but. I find it really hard to get that evil, devil-worshipping, horrible, dark vibe. You've got Eddie Albert in the movie. I just can't get it.
Yeah,
it's
hard enough to do it and make it serious and realistic to begin with. So they just gave themselves an impossible task.
I don't know. I'm sure Eddie Albert probably played some dramatic roles at some point in his time, but he pretty much destroyed that with Green Acres.
Yes.
I mean, that's one of those shows that was just ludicrous.
And now I'm going to have the theme song stuck in my head all day.
Mr. Haney. Everybody on that show was...
That was just a weird show. That was a wake up at 5 a.m. and watch...
Well, that was the 60s,
Well, yeah.
You had Batman was over the top. Green Acre, everything had to be. I think that Lost in Space ended up having to get more. They started out as more like The Outer Limits, and sort of just turned into this. You can't say it's a comedy because it still had that, but it was a childish comedy. And Dr. Smith the Robot and Will Robinson. He's one of my friends, Bill Mummy.
Wow.
If we ever get the Big Top Radio broadcast up and running again, which
I hope so. I think that'd be really cool.
That's a lot of fun. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
And we mentioned the events coming up, Dorian Gray earlier.
Yep.
So I hope a lot of people get involved and
oh yes.
Come on, check it out at the Mosquito Gallery. Definitely, it's going to be a great time, and we'll have some Dorian Gray related movies. There's a few different versions. There's
There
one
are.
there's one that's supposed to be really naughty.
Oh, is it the newest one?
No, that one stunk.
That one was awful. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Dorian Gray that they had in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah. No, that
No.
was no. Have you ever read the uncensored version of Dorian Gray?
Oscar Wilde's?
Yes.
I don't know. I may have it.
I have a copy because I just wrote a report
Okay.
on it.
Does it go into great detail about the sins of the flesh of
Yes.
Dorian Gray?
Yes, it does. You can tell why it was censored, for sure. But
Censored then or censored now?
censored then.
Okay.
It still is
Well, they
censored.
totally messed him up.
Yeah. They always were messing with Wilde, but...
Well, he was messing with somebody's young son, I think, is what did it, and it was
Yeah,
one of those
well-
lords or something. And
He was messing with a lot of people. He was Oscar Wilde. But
what's that?
he was messing with a lot of people. He was Oscar Wilde. He
Yeah,
was-
well, exactly. Man after our own heart. Smoke and mirrors. All right, get right back into it now. The exciting conclusion of The Devil's Reign on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Yeah, Ghoulies, looks like you got a little bit of a Hieronymus in your Bosch. That's about as close as they came to that painting they show in the beginning. But yeah, that was some good curdling, melting flesh, disturbing
Yeah,
footage.
it was-
The Ernest Borgnine meltdown.
I like that. It's a
He
good
was
name.
he came to Kenosha a while back. He was here. He's
Really?
passed away now too, I believe.
Yes.
But yeah, I think he was a little bit hard to work with sometimes. Kind of a hothead. Definitely a unique character actor that could play parts nobody else could.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had a couple different ex-wives, actually pretty beautiful women, actually. And he was in a movie called Willard. Remember
Oh,
Willard?
yeah.
The original one? Or are you talking about the sequel?
I'm talking. Well, I'm not sure.
I've got a copy somewhere. Yeah, the original Willard he's in. That came out in the 70s. And then there was
Okay.
Ben that had the Michael Jackson scene.
Yeah, I'm talking Willard.
Okay, original
Okay.
Willard comes to the point where Willard unleashes the rats
Oh, I love that
on
scene.
Ernest Borgnine because he had it coming.
Yeah.
And one of his former wives was quoted as saying, she said, "That's my favorite movie he's in because of that scene."
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh yeah, well, marriage, you know.
No, I don't. But yeah.
No. Well, you've seen Married with Children at least once.
Oh, of course. I've seen all of Married with
That's a
Children.
good comedy. I miss see.
Yeah.
They're still running it, but I don't see it. I don't.
Yeah. We don't have time for TV. Come on.
Yeah.
We gotta be on TV.
Right.
So why would we watch it?
I don't have time for TV. I haven't watched TV since I've been on it. That's a fact. I don't even have an antenna. I should have an antenna.
Yeah.
I hear they got them right in the TVs now,
Yes, they do.
and they work awesomely.
Yeah. Technology's come pretty far in your very long lifetime.
But I don't think they got Channel 14. That's the downfall.
Yeah, I think you have to have a special thing for that, but
Something special has to come in the world of Crimson Theater.
it's worth it.
What's that?
It's worth it.
What is worth it?
Getting the special box you can
Oh,
get
the
Crimson
special
Theater.
box that you have to have for Channel 14.
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
but
you
they
have Crimson
fluctuated the
Theater.
channel. It's between 93 and a half and 40, or I don't know what's going on out there.
Well, anyways.
It's not like the heyday of the mid-millennium years.
Yeah.
Initially, when we were like the only cable provider, people watch the show, they could get the show. Now it's like, is your show still on? Huh?
Well, we've got plenty of loyal fans who do watch.
Oh, yeah, I
all
know.
the time.
It's a cult following, I believe.
It is.
It's growing too. The whole thing is
Yes.
getting huge. There's countless spin-offs.
Yes. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery, so thank you.
How do you flirt with somebody, two girls, in front of your wife? How will you do that? I don't even know how. I was asking around. I'm like, there ain't a wife in the world that wouldn't go through the roof. That must be a very special relationship.
Yes, it must be.
Crazy on Crimson Theater. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's horrifying melodrama. We'll see you next time on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Eddie Albert. Whew.
On one college campus, 5 students converge on one class.
Oh, this was a class on Poe, not some sort of psych class.
I figured since it's the weekend, we could get started right away.
Saying this guy's an ass clown.
Where the hell do you think I'm from?
We don't know. You won't tell us.
Focus, people.
So he buried an axe in her skull. He then does what any sane gentleman would do. Walls her up in the basement. You got something to say, Midnight? On that note, go.
People get away with things all the time, right?
Quiet!
It seems that Dr. Lynch has taken an unexpected and indefinite leave of absence.
Reginald Lynch's body was discovered in a forest on the western edge of the campus grounds.
And Sister Mary says, that's a hard one.
I dismembered the corpse and hid it within the floorboards.